I'll be going with This is One Fat Boy, and here are my NBA game predictions for January 11th of 2022. Tonight there is 6 games. I'll be going over the spreads and over-unders. So I got the spreads from FanDuel, and then the over-unders are just my thoughts on the game. For the Thunder at the Wizards, I'll be going with OKC plus 9. I believe OKC can hang with the Wizards, as over the past few days, just between like football and basketball, the underdogs have been keeping it close for most games. So I want to expect that trend to stay with the OKC and the Wizards. So I'll be going with OKC plus 9. OKC, they have enough tools that will keep it close with the Wizards, as it's hard for the Wizards to, they still have good players like Kuzma and Beal. Like they can go off, but consistently, not as often. But I think the Wizards should still end up winning if I were to bet the money line. But I think OKC will keep it close. I'll be going over 214.5, as I expect the Wizards to make their shots against the Thunder, but the Wizards defense is mid-tier, and I think Thunder can have like a great quarter and score a lot of points, so that'll keep them in the game. Have them at least get over like 105 points or around there, so over 214.5. For the Suns at the Raptors, I'll be betting on the Suns, as they'd like to redeem themselves after that bad loss a couple days ago against the Heat and have a good game against the Raptors. I'll be going Phoenix minus 4. I'll be going over 217.5, as usually after the Suns have a bad game, like offensively or defensively, they come back that next game and change that script. They also got most of their players back, and they shook off the rust during that Miami game, so they should be shaking up the last of that rust against the Raptors. So they should be making their shots when they get them, playing some more solid defense. I think the Raptors are going to be in for kind of tough game on their end, as they're going to get beat up on. So I'm going to be betting on the Suns to win this without a problem. For the Warriors at the Grizzlies, I'll be going with Golden State minus 1.5. So even though Memphis has been playing well, I think just having Klay Thompson back for the Warriors, that's a bigger boost than the Grizzlies playing well. There's just a lot of weapons right now from 3 for Golden State, so they just got to keep passing the ball around. They'll eventually get the shot they want, and that's just going to be hard to defend. And teams are going to have to adjust it for that, as now there's Klay Thompson and Curry out there. So I think Golden State's going to go on a bit of a streak with this. The only games they're going to lose is if they just have a cold game and then the other team gets hot. So over the next week, I think I'll be just betting Warriors pretty straight. I'll be going under 222.5, as I think the Warriors will be able to contain the Grizzlies to a low amount of points, and then Golden State, last game, they scored 96 points. So I don't see them scoring under 100 again, but I don't expect them scoring over like 115. So I think it's safe to put under 222.5. For the Pistons at the Bulls, so Pistons played last night, but they won by 10 points. And then the spread was 14. I'm like, I think Detroit has enough energy, got enough hope, that I think they'll be able to stay within 14 points with the Bulls. And plus the Bulls, their final scores have been within like 14 points. Doesn't matter who they're playing, it's always within that like 4 to 10 point range. So I'll be continue with that trend, and then I'll be going over 212.5, as Detroit did score a lot of points last night. But I think their defense is going to be a little lacking, so the Bulls should score a lot. And then I'm just betting the over this low, because I'm just trying to factor in, like, what if Detroit does have a bad game and they don't score a lot? I think the Bulls will score enough to cover that 212.5. So that's my thought process there. If Detroit has another great game like they did last night, I think this over can go probably over 221, but 212.5 is just that safe, almost guarantee bet. For Minnesota at New Orleans, I'll be going with Minnesota minus 3.5. Minnesota's been covering their spreads, and I see this continuing. They will have a problem trying to defend Valanciunas, but I think overall there's just enough high energy guys on Minnesota that it'll hinder Valanciunas, and there's enough wing defenders for the Timberwolves to slow down Ingram. So that's the two people you need to slow down on New Orleans, and just run and cover the shooters, and then New Orleans defending Minnesota. It's probably just average defense. Just Minnesota just has to continue playing how they've been playing, then these should hit. Like Minnesota's a high-scoring team, so I expect over 223.5. It should stay mostly close, but I think Minnesota should have like the lead most of the game, and New Orleans should be like within like 5 to 10 points the whole game. So over 223.5, as I expect this to be like a 120 to 110 type of game. Like both teams will be in there. So that's a safer bet for 223.5, and then Minnesota should win this. For Denver at the Clippers, I believe Denver should win this one due to the fact that they have Jokic on their team. Just having that man on your team just helps your team win. If he's on the floor, as long as he stays out of foul trouble and he's able to get to the spots he wants, Denver should have a good chance of winning this. He should be able to take advantage of what the Clippers throw at him, and then they should be able to just go past them. I will expect this to be a pretty close game throughout, as Clippers have been getting used to playing without Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. They have been playing better of late. So I do expect this to be pretty even. So like if you do take the Clippers for the money line, that is understandable. But if I were to bet on a team to win, I'd lean towards the Nuggets. We're going under 220.5, as the Clippers can play some defense, and then the Clippers, they also can go pretty cold from the field too. So if Denver put some effort on defense, that should contain the Clippers. So we'll be going under 220.5, as I think the highest scoring team of this game shouldn't go over like 110. It'll probably be like 108. So this game will probably end up being between like 108 and 98 points for each team, somewhere in there. Thank you for watching. Leave any of your predictions down in the comments for any spreads, over-unders, or any player props. And once again, thanks for watching.